Our fam, how is everybody? Hope everybody had a great Monday. Let's do a little DR talk for today. Hey, first thing I want to do, let me take this up. Let me look at the ES, and I want to look at it for on the show the weekly chart here for a second to kind of show you how I would normally set up for my week. This was yes. Okay, so what I want you to see looks like a lot, right? But really, it's not. So this is a weekly look. Okay, and what I would like you to see is where things are on my chart. All right, so this is this green candle is this week, and notice what happened. All right, so weekly high, weekly low. Okay, little white lines, and then we had midnight open and the weekly open right there. But what I want you to see is if you look at where price went down into today, right? Even though it's a weekly look, there was this green fair value gap. So that's a weekly fair value gap on that chart. And so price came down and went back up, and it went up into a daily fair value gap on the bearish side. So we had bullish on the bottom, bearish on the top. Notice that price went up right above that bearish fair value gap for the daily, and then came back down. So both fair value gaps did their job today. All right, and so sometimes having that big that wider look. That's what I'm talking about. You know what I do on Sunday nights before the market opens, or Sunday before the market opens, is I go and I map all these out. So what you'll see is I have all my liquidity zones kind of laid out, right? So you notice the weekly. You'll see a monthly. This red candle is actually a monthly sell side liquidity down here. That red line. This one is a weekly down here. All right. So if I went to a monthly, you'd see that those would line up. This one lines up as a monthly, right? So again, it's just an easy way to, kind of make sure that we are looking at the right things when we're talking about charts and like what quote unquote indicators I use, which are not really indicators. They're just more points of reference for me to look at. All right. So fair value gap, sell side, buy side liquidity, right? So I actually label mine, the daily sell side, right? Or buy side. So this D is daily, right? So that W is weekly, M is monthly. You kind of get it. And then if I'm doing something, for that day, I'll just have it without the label on. So just be buy side or sell side. Okay, so I keep track of those. All right. So, but you get the idea of just kind of doing that work ahead of time. So at higher time frame analysis gets me down to my 5 minute, and let's see if we can get this to work here now. Get back to where we are today, and this will be a relatively quick one because today was not a good day. I actually end up on the negative side today, and it was really my fault. I shouldn't even have been trading because again I was in we had a leadership meeting last week, had one today and tomorrow for this week, and I really just kind of threw the trade on. I mean, I was following the rules, but I threw the trade on without a lot of forethought. The only thing I did to save myself was I actually just cut my risk down. Instead of a full 5 point risk, I ended up with just a 2.5 point risk. So got stopped out pretty quickly, and which was fine. So no big deal there. And I'll show you where I got stopped out. Show you a trade I wanted to take, but I didn't take it. And that's it, right? So look at DR for today. We had about 24 point range, so on the higher end of our normal range, which is which is sometimes that gets a little iffy. If we get the range is too wide, makes our 0.5 fib pretty far away. But one thing I did notice was that our IDR gap was relatively small on both sides, right? So if you look at the bottom, this blue line, which is really our midnight open, was also our DR low line for today. And then top, you see the DR high line. All right. So now if we look at what we normally talk about, how price was set up inside the DR, right? We had this move right here, right? Which is not something we don't take a bias off of that. We could have said, oh, we're going to go low, but with all this extra stuff up here, that's not something I'll be comfortable with doing. But we did end up going low. Now, where it gets interesting is, right, so we confirmed low here. We tested low a bunch of times, right? We tested low, 3-4 times. Then we finally confirmed. So what we're looking for, of course, is that retrace, right? So now our retrace, right? So we confirmed on, make sure we can drop it in there. We confirmed here. We're looking for a retrace above that, okay? Actually, I'm in the wrong line. Sorry, guys. Got too many lines going on. It's not the weekly open. I'm looking for this blue line up here, right? Notice that we actually did not retrace. That's the trade I'm looking like. We didn't retrace up there. So we did not actually retrace above our fair value, our DR low in this case. Let me try and get this to work correctly. Okay. All right, so here we go. All right, so we did not, so we confirmed low here. We never got back above here, not there anyway. Once we did that though, we did it here, and then we went above that IDR low, okay? So now you could put an order here, and this is where I actually did did lose on this trade, right? So, and this is why I did a 2.5 point stop, because if you notice, right, a bullish fair value gap, okay? Now, bullish fair value gap means price wants to go this way, okay? But my DR tells me price wants to go this way, okay? And so following the rules, that's the trade I'm taking. Price right here on the DR low, on IDR low, I should say, right? For price to come this way, okay? But we're right in the middle of a fair value gap. So you got conflicting stories, and that's a trade I should not have taken, right? But again, I glanced at my chart at my lunch. I said, oh, okay, we just went back above the IDR, and we're coming back down, right? So she'll pick me up and come down some more, and so that did not happen. Took the trade here, got picked up on IDR, and then boom, we just turn back around and head up that way. All right, so that was a trade I should not have taken, and it was part of the rules. But again, we had conflicting rules, right? That bullish fair value gap should have told me leave that alone. Anyway, so that was my negative trade for today, and that's really the last trade I actually took, because I was like, I'm not focused. Let me not just give money away here today. All right, so you notice the price kept moving up. All right, which is again against the trend we should have been seeing, which would have been going this way. Now, here's where we called out a potential retirement setup if you're a DR trader. Okay, right? Remember what the retirement setup means? Price is going to go approach the other end of the range, right? So it confirmed here, confirmed down. So it's going to approach the other end of the range, but not go and close above, right? Close above the DR high in this case, right? It may pierce it. It may go up there and come back down. It may close right below it. All those things are valid for a retirement setup. Okay, we just can't have it close above the DR line. All right, and so if you remember, our DR line is DR high is right here. Okay, so when price gets here on IDR, it comes right up to the IDR line, IDR high line, and then it just rejects for a little bit. Now, if you were sneaky, and this is the trade I actually called out and said, hey, are we setting up for a retirement setup? You could have gotten in on any one of these three candles, right? You could have gotten here, here, or here. And literally, this actually was a 5-point trade, believe it or not. That was a movement down. If you got into the top, was a 5 point, a little bit more than 5, but you could have got quick 5 points off of there. But then you see what happens pretty soon after. We turn back around, and then we actually end up making that a false DR day right before 3 o'clock. So, hard trading day for DR. There was no true, like, let me just jump in. Because here's the thing, right? Because when price starts going this way, okay, we're expecting it to reverse back down. So if you look at all our areas where we would normally have picked up a trade, like here on the 0.5 fib, test it. Like I would have put a trade right here on the 0.5 fib for it to come back down. But if you notice, it never actually went back up, never came back down to that 0.5 fib, just kept going. All right, so that's the challenge there. So again, the only place I would have taken the trade is where I did take the trade, and again, it got stopped out pretty quickly. And that would have been it. Like if I would have been up here, if I would have taken this trade on the DR, right? So it goes above the IDR. I'll put my order right here on the IDR low, and would not have gotten picked up on that trade either, which is a good thing because I would have gotten stopped out very quickly soon after, right? Now, same thing here. If I was really being stubborn about it, okay, because then now we have made this a false DR day, so this all bets are off, right? Once it's a false DR day, again, you just I can't. I'm not gonna claim anything. So it becomes a false DR day here. If you'd have said, oh, it's going to reverse one more time and got a trade in right here, you'd have gotten stopped out pretty quickly there as well. All right, so not really a solid DR trade for anybody today. Now, if you were just looking at that as part of the IDR concepts, okay. So if I was thinking that route, if you look at this trade right here, right? Remember we had that reversal, that 0.5. I mean that fair value gap that was bullish. Here's the trade right here. Let me make this a little bit bigger. Hold on, let's make this so we can see this, and then we'll close it out. But if you look right here, when price comes back up, it comes back into this fair value gap, right? So the same trade that I was expecting to go down, you could have taken that trade actually to go up, and you'd have had a really nice day. Okay, it wouldn't have fit our DR concept, but that's again a fair trade to take if you're if you're an ICT student. Or if we hadn't confirmed yet, and we just made that move, that would have been a no-brainer trade for me. Okay, but since we did confirm, that's not this move. I mean, this move was not what we wanted. We wanted this down move, and so we didn't get that. So anyway, so again, a very small losing day for me, which I'm okay with. That's expected sometimes, so not gonna worry about it. And again, I shouldn't have been trading. I know that, and I shouldn't have even let that. It shouldn't even cross my mind because again, I really had no time to focus on the market today. And tomorrow will be similar, so I'm gonna try my best not to do that tomorrow. All right. But if I see a good setup, I can't say I won't jump in and throw a set and forget trade. And that's the other thing I did. I did a set and forget trade. Again, only a 2.5 point risk. So he's going to win 5 points or lose 2.5 points, and lost 2.5 points, and that's okay. All right. Anyway, guys, so that's it. Hope everybody had a great day again. A tough DR trading day, but tomorrow is another day, and like we always say, you don't have to trade every day. It's okay to sit out on the sideline for a day or so. All right. Love on your family. You never know when you won't be able to do it again, so take advantage of it. And we will see you guys. We'll do it again tomorrow and see what happens. All right. God bless.